Well, hello there, YouTube. It's June 28th, 2022, and today I want to give you an update on what's going on. I kind of wanted to review a little bit of last time. You remember when we were doing the rings in my last video, checking the ring gap. You notice, like in box 1, cylinder 1, ring gap C is 35 millimeter. And then you see in cylinder 3, for example, we have box 3, gap C, and it's 45. And you say, oh my goodness, Tony, you're 10 millimeters bigger in that other cylinder than you are in the first cylinder, and 5 millimeters different than the box 5. And well, that's not true. So, but we want to prove that, I guess, right? So that's what I thought we'd do. Is go ahead and prove that our cylinders are round, and it's just that our rings are just not cut equally. That's all it is. They weren't grimed. That gap at production is not perfect, and that's what we're going to investigate. So let's walk over to the engine. All right, I'm going to start with this first ring. This is the one that came out of this box right here. Cylinder number 1, box 1. I'm just going to verify that because if you notice, it's, it's one of the smallest. So I'm just going to verify it. What the heck? So same thing as before. As the other video. We'll just set it in there like this. And roll it in, right? There we go. Get our piston. And we'll bring her down. There we go. And we said it was 0.35, so 0.33 now, and 0.33 goes in there, no problem. And now here's 0.38, and it's just too tight. All right? So that's that ring. So we verified that. Let's go ahead and get it out of there. I hate this part of it, right? Although, I see how it works. It's not that difficult. All right, so we could take this now and put this in number 2. But instead, I'm going to take that number 2 ring and put it in number 1. I've already, oiled every one of those, so. And then I'm wiping this one with light oil, top to top. And let's see what we get. I think we can just probably roll it in that way, maybe. We'll try that. I haven't tried that way before. And it looks like we can just roll that in. There we go. I thought it was rolled in, but not quite yet. It's kind of hard to do that for the camera, but you see how I kind of rolled that in there. All right, let's take that piston. Right. Go. Okay. Let's start with what number 1 was. Well, I've got 0.33. And that goes in no problem. Here's 0.38. No problem. 40. No problem. Let's see, 45. That's 45. There it is. So that is exactly what we had for box 2. So that means the differences in these gaps is not the cylinders, it's the piston rings. You know, it was mentioned to me that, you know, now you can take these compression rings, which is the first and secondary compression rings, C and B, and kind of even them out a little bit. So I thought about, you know, mixing the rings up a little bit and kind of making it more mathematically even between all of them. The bottom ring there, ring A, is for oil. That's pretty close, almost identical. You don't really need to mess with that anything. You get a little bit more oil on one than the other maybe. And then I really didn't like the way that I laid this out with 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, I thought it should be laid out more like it is in the car. So I switched it up, and here's all our final numbers. That's all the ring gaps of every single cylinder and the piston rings. And so that's pretty much the end of that. The one thing I didn't cover in the video is that the rings that I swapped between cylinders and boxes, I verified those tolerances ahead of time. You know, and I want to thank Tassos for pointing out how you can go about, you know, moving your rings and making sure that, you know, your bores are the same as the ring rather than the bore, right? I think it's a good idea to check that. All of a sudden you have all these weird numbers. So you want to make sure that your rings themselves are, you know, that your cylinder bores are not going all crazy like this, right? All right. So I have a piece of paper. I'm trying to keep track of what I'm doing because there's a few things I want to cover. So you guys remember I bought a set of main bearings from Covington, right? And that's the price and everything. And then this is what I got. And it's the same issue that we had with Mercedes before, you know, this MB USA website. I don't know what's going on, but, you know, I ordered these bearings. And matter of fact, we can backstep this a little bit. I first tried to purchase valves, intake valves off their website, okay, MB USA. And you just type intake valve, it tells you what it is, and I ordered that, and luckily, on the other end, the guy caught it, and that's not the right valve for my car. So luckily he's on his toes and caught that, right? Or I would have had the wrong valves actually, because it says it fits my car, all that kind of stuff. But and the part numbers were close, but it says it was, you know, updated or something, you know, a new reference number. At any rate, he caught that, and then so we found out there was no way to purchase valves, right? So we did that in another video. So now I went ahead and I wanted to purchase these bearings, right? So like that, you know, they're bearing sets. And so I did. I purchased the bearings, and again, this is what I got. So those connecting rods are the right ones. I got a full set of those. So, and you can see here, let's see if that's where I'm at here. Yep, the connecting rods, you see it says bearing set. I got an arrow there. And it points out in the graphic, and it says reference number 27, right? Let's go to page 2. And here it says notes. So it has a notes section here. And it says a complete set for 8 connecting rods. Okay, you expected, right? And it says sold in quantity of 1. So now we'll move over to the main bearings. So this is their web page again. And there's the bearing set. I got a green arrow pointing to that. And it says it's reference number 28 in the illustration. I got an arrow on that to make sure, you know, it includes a bearing set, right? Then here, though, it doesn't have notes, right? No notes. But what it does have, it says quantity of one. Okay, one set. That makes sense to me. And so, you know, again, that's what I purchased. But that's not what I got. So that's kind of where I am on the bearing. So I'm kind of in conversation. We're trying to get it. He's at a dilemma. He's just like me. It's like doesn't make any sense to him over there either. So he's ordering 3 more just to see if an actual set actually shows up, right? So anyway, the only bearings that are available, you see that little box right there? That little box only contains your regular main bearings, not your thrust bearing. And guess what? Mercedes doesn't have it. That's right, they don't have any thrust bearings. You can't buy a thrust bearing for this car. So what's the point in doing that, right? What's the point of that? It doesn't seem to make any sense to me because you want to keep a whole set. So now, all the other companies that sell bearings for this car sell them as a set, just like MB should, right? So I don't know what's going on. Maybe somebody will get a heads up down there and find out where the actual set is, because it's not anywhere here, that's for sure. Right now, that's the only thing I've got. Now, I do have, in those other 2 boxes, that is the connecting rod bearings. So I have those, but, you know, again, I wanted to keep all the bearings together. That was the whole purpose behind it, was to keep it all together. So basically, that's, you know, where I'm at on the bearings now. We're waiting out of Germany or wherever the heck. I don't know where they really come from. You know, it'd be nice to know who manufactures things and then, you know, get down to the source and get this stuff figured out, because right now I can't find a thrust bearing anywhere. So you either go with aftermarket and buy a set of those so you can score yourself a thrust bearing, or you don't buy Mercedes-Benz parts. You know, you just scrap that idea and go with the aftermarket, you know, which is what I started with, right? And I had a bad fit. So maybe I need to contact that company. At least they make them, and say, look, how about coming over here and checking this out and let's make this thing right. So now, if that wasn't bad enough, the next thing that ends up happening is I get an email, and all of a sudden they say my order for my valves are canceled. Right? So that's where I am on the valves. You know, I ordered some new ones now, and I ordered 8 of them. It's just unbelievable, the stuff that I go through, you guys. And if you're going to try to rebuild this car, you cannot get real valves. You know that. You can't get a thrust bearing. We know that. So that's kind of the whole dilemma of everything that I've been dealing with. I really can't believe that they can sell those bearings but no thrust bearing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what they're doing. How about if I show you guys some of my equipment? Because I'm getting really tired about that. So right now, that's the camera that I'm using right now. And I'm looking at it. You see, I'm kind of looking up. You know, I haven't kind of got the little things out. And this is the first time I'm using this new lav mic. It's kind of what they use professionally. It's wired, but I can walk around. I do have a wireless transmitter and receiver I'm going to try maybe later. But right now, this is the first time I've done it with this camera. As far as my view, my wife and daughter got that for me for Father's Day and for my birthday, which is kind of close. And the reason really is, if you look at these other things here, that little camera there on the right, little bottom right, they're all little Sonys that I bought off eBay for about $60. And that's what I've been using. So, you know, now we're back into this, and you know, I finally have something that, I don't know, maybe, you remember when HD first came out, when you got the first TV, you go, oh gosh, all the people on the news look terrible. So I need to get those filters, and because this is looking pretty good. All right, so that's the progress on that, but I do have some other things coming up. I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to start putting up together some of the other videos I've got going, as well as the head, you know, because I can do that kind of stuff. The valves will come here eventually. So I got to deburr that. So I'm just, you know, the reason for this really is just I'm documenting everything about this process of restoring a 560 SL. You know, you're going to run into all these same problems that I'm running into. It's, you know, it's unbelievable. You get the wrong parts and they tell you it's right. You saw the terrible radiator, right? I'll have a link for that right up here. You know, it's with MBUSA, I'm not too sure about. It's the other sites, anyone who gets the feed from there, you never know what you're going to get. You got to be really careful, especially in this particular case. I know they're trying to work some bugs out. They told me that. So, but in the meantime, you don't know what you're going to get. You know, it's going to cost you 5 times more, right? I mean, you saw that. It's going to cost me, that's for one? Really? That's for one? You guys, you're killing me. You're killing me. So that's basically all this video was about. I just wanted to try out this new equipment, the new lav mic. Hopefully the audio level's a little bit better. The other thing I wanted to do, you know, the air conditioner actually is running, like right behind me. So I thought, you know, what is it going to sound like without the air conditioner and all? Wow, I don't even have to yell. Oh, I'm in Zen. I feel like I could just fold my legs right now and just float up, right? I mean, this is great. It's nice and quiet. So I think that sounds a heck of a lot better. But unfortunately, you know, it's going to be 108 degrees today. And it took me all day to do this video. It really did. I'm having trouble with this and that and trying to get that set up and then that set up and, you know, and going through all these emails and the issues and, you know, making the graphics and all that kind of stuff. It basically took me a couple of days to do this, you know, but obviously I have time on my hands because I'm waiting for, you know, to get some parts. And I got to remember to look at my camera. You know, this is going to be a new thing for me, you know, so I stay engaged with you guys. I mean, it's not me. Well, I don't need to look at myself, you know, but it's just nice to be able to have that, right? All right, you guys. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I'm going to try to start the car. I promise you, I'm going to try to start the car. That is the whole plan. When I first began, anyone, you know, if you're new to this channel, this is how it all began. It was just a rear seal engine leak. That's all it was. I was going to change the rear seal engine leak and maybe do the transmission myself. And then I thought, no, that's a little bit big. So I sent that off. And then I was just going to change the seal. And this is what happened. So, oh, I have another video for that too. It's the 560 SL rabbit hole. That's right. You guys want to join me? Well, if you want to join me, you have to click the subscribe button. And then click the bell too, because at some point I'm going to try to start the car, right? I'm either going to start it or blow it up. One or the other two. Something's going to happen. If you can't get the parts, oh my gosh, who knows? So that's it, basically. I just wanted to share where I am in the process. And, you know, I'm still working. Every single day I'm doing a little something on this car, or engine, something. So, you know, hey, until the next time, thanks for watching.